Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I'm live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego is my good friend, co-host, and just awesome guy, Dennis Pathalkis. What's up, Dennis?
Nothing much. I just finally got the windows up, man. It's starting to cool down here for a change. But you know what? Enough of that. You know what we're here to actually cover? We're here to cover
TV.
Exactly. Venture Brothers, Season 7, Episode 4, The High Cost of Loathing.
Yes. And before we get started, we have to put up the spoiler paddle.
Yes, we do.
Spoiler alert.
All right. I actually just lost mine there for a second. There we go.
Courtesy
Spoiler
of
alert.
Venture Brother fan Viking Bitch.
Yes.
We go over the episode, we spoil the hell out of it, and then we talk to you in the chat. So if you haven't seen the episode, it's free. It's on Adult Swim. Go check it out, and then come check us out. If you've already seen the episode, stay around. And
exactly.
Yeah, sorry this isn't at the normal time, but because they don't drop these episodes on the normal time. So we come on right at, as close as we can to when they dropped the episode, which was earlier today, I believe, which is Friday, August 23rd. So yeah, great response to our last recap. Next, it won't be tonight, but our next recap, we're going to go over some of the comments of the last couple episodes because there have been some great comments. So keep them coming, man. Great job. Too. Good theories. Some criticisms. Fine. It's all okay. We'll read it all. So keep it coming, and thanks, and welcome to all the new subs, and let's get going, man.
Yeah, we fuck shit up. So that's our modus operandi, by the way.
Yeah, so. I mean, these are visceral reviews. We pretty much right after we watch it, we come on, and everybody
don't edit them.
No, it's obvious. No editing here. And everybody in the chat, we will get to you momentarily.
All right. So we start off 2 months after the whole Blue Morpho incident, and we see a Venture Brothers ship out in the ocean. And what comes up, crawling up the side, is a Gary who looks badass, or henchman number 21, in a new suit. And he is just killing venture tech people, or Ventech industry people left and right, getting aboard the ship. And we see a new group of Monarch henchmen coming in. And we see a new Monarch ship actually fly, and it looks badass as well, with lights and everything. And the Monarch comes flying down in his sparkly new costume.
Yes, all armored up.
Yeah, they open up one of the cargo containers, and it looks like enriched uranium. Which one of the henchmen goes, "Madre de Dios," and he says, "God can't hear you." DSSS is the name of the henchman, which I thought was the funniest. It's number 16.
Yes. Yep.
And it's really pomade, is really what it is. It's pomade for his eyebrows, is what this stuff is. Enriched uranium.
He wakes up because it's a dream. Wah, wah.
It's a daydream. It's actually, he's being audited by the guild. And specifically by Dr. Mrs. Girlfriend. Yeah, Mrs. the Monarch now is what it's called. Her name has changed so many times. It's so Dr. Mrs. the Monarch is what her name is now. And Dr. Z. And Dr. Z really doesn't like him. So he's going through it as much as possible. And they're in the Blue Morpho lair, which has been changed over to the Monarch lair now. And everything's been relabeled, like the Monarch computer, the Monarch mobile. He's got some new henchmen, which look kind of rough and ratty around the edges.
Yeah, and, well, he's rubbing his eyebrows. When he was daydreaming, he was rubbing his eyebrows, and the doctor's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, I ran out of product. I'm not getting enough, sufficient hold from it, or whatever the hell he said. And he's all,
because that should make a difference on this, right?
Because appearance makes the difference here in the guild. Appearance counts.
And Gary, of course, says, we thought we'd have a little more time to spruce things up. And he goes, "That's what a surprise inspection is all about." Which is what I use in my audits too. That's what a surprise inspection is all about. You need to use that
voice. So
they do.
Use that voice.
I don't know. It'd be kind of racist if I did the accent too. So I think, I might not do that.
All the more reason. See what happens at work.
Yeah, that would go over really well. And I love how when we have the henchmen lined up there, as Dr. Z puts it, Taylor Swift rolls with a bigger squad.
Yes. And the Monarch is asking like why, Dr. Mrs. Monarch is even there because she couldn't intervene, and he's like, then why are you here? I'm sorry, honey. She gives him that look that they really got the wife look down, by the way. Congratulations on animators right there. Because I recognize that look.
Yeah, I'm sure he has as well. So I know that Jackson actually now lives in LA with his wife instead of being at the Titmouse Studios back in Atlanta. So I'm sure he knows what that look looks like. That's the reason why he's there. Yeah. So we found that the Monarch actually gets his EMA level knocked down to a level 5.
Level 5, motherfucker.
He's like, mother. See Gary grabs. Okay, that seems a little harsh because I'm being lenient and generous. Then we go back to Hank, and Hank is getting Dean's room because Dean is going off to college, and he's redecorating Dean's room and making it into a bachelor pad,
erasing the dry erase board, which we've all done.
Yeah, well, because we know that Dean actually used permanent marker on that dry erase board because it's Dean. Yeah.
Yes.
And he makes it into a bachelor pad, complete with a TV. Takes the TV and actually hangs it over the dry erase board instead. And he calls up Serena, who's on campus, by the way, with his watch phone, and he's inviting her over. And she's like, "I've got class." He goes, "Of course you do, baby. That's why I like you." Which I was like, okay, this is a suave Hank. I like this.
Yes,
I'm kind of liking this Hank.
Is that suave really?
It's a suave. It's suave for Hank. Yeah, it's suave for him. And then Serena sees this car like hauling ass across the quad and doing donuts. It's Brock's car, of course.
Yep.
And he peels out and he goes, "This traffic just grinds my crotch." He really doesn't like the traffic, and so he was able to open up his car on the quad there.
Gotta open Adrian up a little bit.
Yeah. And he's bringing Dean to the dorms is what he's gonna do. And he's like, "I'm gonna give you a little gift." He goes, "Really, Brock? You're gonna give me the keys?" He goes, "Of course not."
I thought you were the smart one. Damn it. But no, I like it when he was talking. Dean's like, "Oh, I know about repressed rage." He's all, "Yeah, I know you do, Dean."
Yeah, this show is very many things.
Yes.
And it's good for repeat viewing if you ever get a chance to do it. So we go into Dean's room, and his roommate is Jared, the Brown Widow, who is completely naked, and he's cleaning out his web hole in his
web
back.
hole.
Yeah, it's his web hole. Is what that's what I'm just gonna call it. And he's also the Brown Widow. In case you guys don't know, he is the hero of the Brown Widow, who we've seen before. And Brock's all kind of skeeved out. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because he's naked, of course. And Jared is also the beaver mascot for the school. And he's holding the head of the mascot over his crotch, of course, to keep his, dick from showing there. And Brock thinks that he's having sex with the
are you having
the costume?
That? And he has his hand out to shake his hand right after he was messing with his web hole. And Brock's like, "What?"
Yeah, he's like, "I'm not touching that." Yeah. And so he's like, "I'm gonna leave and go and cash my student loan check," is what the Brown Widow does, and he leaves. And so Brock and Dean are talking about Dean's like, "I want to really move away from the super science because I'm not interested in it." And Brock's like, "Well, bad news, your dad signed you up for all the science classes."
Yeah, a shitload of science classes.
Yeah, shitload of science classes. And we cut back over to Dr. Venture, and Dr. Venture's in the board meeting, and he's being screamed out by his former pirate that they've spent all this money, they're getting the building back into shape. Gargantua 2 is a big bomb, and what do you have? You and your science monkeys down in the lab better come up with something. And he jumps up on the table and goes, I'm going to show you something. He goes running down the table,
jumps right out the window,
which is from a couple of different movies, by the way.
Yes.
And he ends up floating back up, and he's got a piece of glass in his leg. Well,
we don't know that yet. Well, we see him. We see it. We see him floating there, though, and he's basically got what Jonas Venture Jr.'s belt, his little meditation belt, and they even notice it. They're like, "Isn't that your brother's belt?" He's all, no, it's different. Yeah, and he's got that little glass hanging out his leg.
Future of transportation.
Yes.
And he starts laughing. And as he's laughing, all the cuts on his face start to bleed and start draining into his shirt. And they're like,
he just passes out.
Cut up. Yeah.
He's all bent over.
Well, he's starting to bleed, and he looks down at the glass in his leg, and the guy's like, you shouldn't pull that out. And he pulls it out, of course, and immediately passes out, hanging a couple of stories in the air. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we go back to the Monarch, and he's at the bank, and he's trying to borrow $20 million.
$20 million. Yes.
And he's in his jumpsuit, his Monarch jumpsuit. Yeah. And of course, he gets denied because he has no job. He has a house that was condemned, but no longer a condemned house because he's been spending a whole bunch of money on it.
The $20 million loan for arching.
Yes, the $20 million loan is for arching. And he tells the bank manager, why don't you just check out the trust fund? I've been a member here for 40 years, kind of thing. And so he looks it up and he goes, oh, that account is overdrawn. He's like, what? And he sends Gary out to the car. He's like, Gary, go out to the car. And then he takes off the jumpsuit and he's got the Monarch clothes underneath because I'm robbing the bank. Everybody hit the ground. Otherwise, you're going to end up like this. And he crosses his arms and shoots both guards in the neck. And of course, who happens to be there? But Jared, the Brown Widow.
Brown Widow.
Who ends up kicking his ass.
Yep.
Pretty badly too.
He runs out to the car. He's all, start the car. Superhero.
Superhero, start the car. Start the car. Yeah. And I like Gary just kind of like he's sitting there behind the wheel. I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
So we go back to Dean. Dean's going into philosophy class, and with Jared, we see Jared actually kind of running in. He's a little bit late.
Yeah.
And
sit down, Bjorn Borg.
Yeah, and so this is Dr. Nabata's philosophy class. And Dr. Nabata, by the way, if you don't remember him from last season, he was also known as Think Tank.
Think Tank, with a very familiar voice.
Yes, Jeffrey Wright from Westworld.
Westworld fans.
Bernard, yes.
Yes, and Tompkins is the gym teacher there. And so his philosophy class is like, we're gonna learn from the philosopher Zack Snyder.
So 300 was what was shown.
I don't think Plato's Republic was kicking ass or taking names. But it was great to see 300 again.
So we go back to Dr. Venture. He's now in the hospital and he nicked his femoral artery, so he needs to stay overnight so they can watch him a little bit. And so Brock and Dr. Hatred, Brock and Hatred are arguing over who is supposed to be watching him. And who is the one who actually slipped up. And then Brock's like, well, who in the hell is watching the front desk now? It's Helper, who's freaking out and has a gun.
I better
He's just waving at everybody. Which was awesome. I mean, just have that little flash of Helper just waving the gun around. I started losing it, man. That was awesome.
Out of his depth.
So Doc is asking where Dean is, and Brock's reminding him it's his first day of college. He's back, he went back to school. And Hank is there and he goes, well, I'm here. And he goes, I want to ask if I could borrow some money because I want to clean up the cave. He goes, I'm going to do most of the work myself, but I need a little bit of money just to buy some stuff. And Doc's like, you're not getting any money from me.
That's where he says out of my depth. He's all, ceiling lights are, I'm really out of my depth on ceiling lights or something like that. And he's like, yeah, you got to work. You had a choice.
Yeah. School and clown college doesn't count. Because Hank was about to open his mouth. It's like, clown college doesn't help. Or you get a job. Yeah. And so, of course, Dean's, Hank's getting ready to go out there, and he runs to the nurse. The nurse reminds everyone that visiting hours are over, and he goes, "Can I get one of those too? Because I don't have anything to piss in. I don't have a pot to piss in.
Family, and they're over, okay?"
Yeah,
that voice.
And he wants Brock, of course. Doc Venture wants Brock to stay because that's his bodyguard, and Brock ends up taking his, click. So he gives him a little bit of medicine to knock him out. And as he leaves, we see the curtain on the other side of the room get opened up. And who's sitting there underneath that curtain but Dr. Nabata, Think Tank himself, all bandaged up. We thought he was dead.
Yeah.
We honestly thought he was dead because, Battle Axe kicked the shit out of him, really.
Yep.
But yeah, he's unconscious in the bed across from Dr. Venture.
Yep.
Who he was arching last season.
Yes.
So,
the next scene where we see Gary. He's all, it's bad.
It's bad, yeah. And so Dr. Mrs. the Monarch is going in, and Monarch's laying on the ground, and she goes, well, there's superheroes all over the city, sweetheart. It's going to be rough. And she's trying to get him back into arching, and he doesn't want to do it because I'm on level freaking 5. He goes, fives are suck. They don't mean anything. And she goes, you're the goddamn monarch.
Yeah, you've got me. You've got 21. You've got this house.
Yeah.
This house is a money pit.
I spent $1,200 on this sconce lamp. Breaks it off the wall.
Well, breaking it's not going to help much.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, she convinced him going back into arching again, of course, and not giving up. And this is where we go back to Dean. Dean is in his dean's office talking to Dr. Von Helping is his name.
V. Von Helping.
Yeah, voiced by the great Gary Cole.
Gary Cole.
Yeah. And we find out that Dr. Van Helping also knows a thing or two about not wanting to follow in the father's footsteps because his father was Vigo von Hellfire. And wanted him to follow in his footsteps, and actually tried to create a little super science of his own to transform his son. And he gives Dean a little pep talk about it. He goes, why don't you just try one science class? And Dean's like, okay, so what's the one science class that's the least super sciencey? And he talks him into taking botany, which is his class. Yeah.
Interesting. And then the next scene we see Hank with 2 German students or tourists, we think.
Yeah, they're basically it's a hostel. They're hostel students.
Yeah, and he sold out his room to Airbnb. Corporation of Hank or whatever.
Hanko. And Hanko actually is a callback to when he was creating his own company on the Venture compound. And had Hank Bucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Which was awesome.
There's so many fucking callbacks on this show.
Yeah, there are so many callbacks. I love that. Yeah, Airbnb, a division of Hanko, a wholly owned subsidiary of Hanko, which is awesome. I mean, I love that they brought Hanko back because he needs money. And of course, he got $250 and an extra $30 for the cleaning charge.
The cleaning charge, yes.
Yeah. So Serena's walking home or walking to her next class, and there's this guy with a hoodie on and goes, hey, baby, mamacita, how you doing? And she's like, get away from me, creep. He goes, baby, you look really good. And she's like, I got mace. And he goes, I got flowers. And it's Hank, of course. And he's like, he goes, I've got some money. He goes, I thought we'd go out in the town, paint it any color you want.
So that's sweet. But I've got class. I thought you had class. That's what college is. It's more class.
More than one class. I have more than one class. Exactly. And she goes off to her class and leaves Hank to sulk a little bit. So we see Hatred is sleeping on the floor in the Venture lobby, the Ventec lobby, when the alarm goes off that Hank's room has been opened.
Yep.
And he gets up to go and find out what's going on. And we go back to Hank again. He's visiting his dad in the hospital and talking to him while he's out cold.
Yep.
And we hear some music playing, and it's actually Stars and Stripes singing to Dr. Nadano.
The think tank.
The think tank. And when Doc wakes up and he's stoned out of his mind, he's like, I heard some beautiful music. What's going on? Is that you? And you've come to see me. And Hank's like, yeah, Dad, I've come to see you. He goes, you're my favorite. I love you, Kate Jackson.
Which was the Wi-Fi password too, which was Kate Jackson Meow.
Kate Jackson Meow. Just don't pass that around because it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So we go back to Brock and Hatred. They're both outside Hank's room, and And Hatred's telling him that the alarm went off in Hank's room, and Brock's like, yeah, so what? So Hank's in there. He's like, no, Hank went out like an hour ago. And so that's when Brock pulls his knife, and he goes, okay, on 3. And Hatred goes, 3, kicks the door in, and we see gunshots going off. We hear screaming and
we do not see the Germans again.
Yeah, we don't see what happened.
No.
So this is going to be interesting what happens. It's going to be funny if they actually turn out to be like, people that kick Hatred in Brock's ass.
That would be fun. That would be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably dead.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes.
So the Monarch ends up. We see Dean and Serena are going in. They're the only people in Von Helping's botany class, because it's a night class, because that's when you would take botany, right?
Of course.
And the Monarch swings in through the window, and he starts arching Van Helping, and tries to punch him, and almost breaks his hand.
Audit.
I'm here to audit the class. And he punches Van Helping and like almost breaks his hand. You hear this clunk like metal. He's like, oh my God. And that's what Gary does. Actually tries to punch him. And then Monarch tries to kick him in the balls and almost breaks his foot.
Yep.
And that's when he ends up going over and threatening Serena and taking out the knife, and they're holding to Serena's throat. And that's when Von Helping gets pissed off and says, okay, you want to arch me? You want to do this? And all of a sudden we see him melt away. And we found out that he had scars over 80% of his body.
Yep.
I forgot about this. So they were going over his booklet when they're arching him, when they're flying out to go meet him, Monarch and Gary. And they're talking about this. He had scars over 80% of his body, but we don't see where those scars are because he looks perfectly normal.
Yeah.
But he like heats up and all this wax comes off of him, melts off, and we see that he's basically this scarred person. That was the result of his dad's experiments to change him into someone more like himself.
He announced himself as Vigo von Hellfire.
Yeah. So. He goes, you want to take care of Victor von Hellfire? You want to face him? Yeah, and at this point Dean's like, stop. He goes, what the hell? You keep following me. What's it gonna take to get you off my back? And that's when Monarch, starts going to his rant about, being the rich little boy that he is.
What do rich bitch?
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And so Dean pulls out his checkbook and goes, how about I give you a check for $1 million?
Like, fringes too. Like he goes down like he's going to get a gun.
He's got a gun. Yeah. Yeah. He's reaching into his pocket. He's got a gun. And so Dean writes him a check for $1 million. He goes, will that do it? Will the $1 million? He goes, well, yeah.
Yeah. well, good.
All right
yeah. Then. Could you sign this 44B for Arch? What is it? Arching Confidential or something like that.
And I love how Dean says, you shouldn't, stoop down to his level. You don't want to be brought down to his levels. What he's talking about to Dr. Victor von Hellfire. And von Hellfire starts calming down and coming down. He goes, Dean, you should be the professor. You're the professor here. And you've done a really good job. And that's when we have the Monarch goes, can we please leave this after school special?
Right.
And so they leave, and Serena's thanking Dean because Dean actually says, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. She goes, those were, I'm used to dealing with level 8s and level 9s. He goes, those guys were like level -3s. And she goes, but thanks for asking. She goes, you're sweet. And she gives him a little peck on the cheek, and he blushes.
She walks away. Oh. And they notice it's animated, so you don't know. But when she's walking away, she's not like smiling or anything. She looks very serious. So I don't know if there was something up with that, if it was just her walking away because it's animated. I have no idea. But then we get back to Dean, and he's got a boner.
He's got a boner, and he's like, uh-oh. Yeah. And so we go through the credits, and at the very end, the stinger is the Monarch is hanging a little plaque in his office.
The top earner.
He got the top earner for the month from the guild. And Dr. Z was so impressed, he actually sent him a little jar of his eyebrow wax that he needs, which has ambergris in it.
Or whatever.
Whale ambergris in it.
Yes. Interesting. And he's a level 6 now. So
yes, and he's level 6 exactly. He's moving up in the world.
Moving on up.
So that was our episode, which was awesome.
They're all great.
Yeah, Helper though in the lobby with the gunman.
That's the best. That was the best part.
It was just a flash, just a little bit, and it was perfect.
Just like any conversation with Brock is pretty damn funny too.
Yeah.
So a lot of the theories from last week, which they didn't hit on this week at all, Dennis, were like, pretty much we're pretty convinced the Monarch is Dr. Venture's brother, and that Jonas Venture might have fathered, 3 kids. And you pointed out that maybe somebody in the chat pointed out that there's always 3 brothers.
Yeah, somebody in the chat pointed out there's always 3 brothers. So we have Jonas. So we have Dr. Venture, we have Jonas Jr., and we also have the Monarch.
If the Monarch is a brother, which we think it is at this point.
And we also have Hank, Dean, and Dermot. Everyone remember Dermot? Yeah. So we have those 3 brothers. And so we have Dr. Jonas Venture Sr. We don't know who his 2 brothers are, if he has who they are, because we haven't met them as of yet. So that's something to think about down the line here. Always 3.
Always 3. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
And then there's who killed Jonas Venture. Now, there was a lot of theories on that. I definitely leaning towards, and I think it's kind of obvious, but that's maybe why they won't do it this way. But the Red Death is probably the one who did it. That's why stories. That's why he's so available. He wants that council seat so bad, but other things too.
Yeah, so the whole thing was, someone actually brought it up in the comments that Red Death was responsible. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, if the Sovereign found out that they were actually going to go and kill Jonas Venture, which he probably did, know about this already, he probably grabbed Red Death aside and said, hey, if you kill him, make it look like an accident, just we're going to kill everybody. You're going to be the only one that survives, but I want to pin this on the Sphinx. So that they can go to war with the OSI and we can get rid of them. Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out at the end of this season. Looks like they're moving towards it. And these shows, like, it didn't used to be this linear. I like it a lot, but it used to be very random, like we were always in the middle of a story or something. That's was the best part of it though.
What was it like?
Watching it, God, it's so good.
I think it was like episode 6 of the first season, like plunks you right down the middle of an episode.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I did. I just, it's so good. I'm so happy it's back.
Yeah.
And how many episodes are we getting? I know I've asked this before, but
I believe it's 10.
10. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they come out whenever. They come out around the weekend. So like we're going to be doing these podcasts whenever, obviously. So let's get to the chat a little bit. Yep. Thanks for staying up late, folks.
Yeah. Marcus Kahn says, I laugh on the show in the comments, said after school special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of this after school special. I got to work on my voices a little more, but
that's actually pretty good. Carrie Dalton says, it took me a second to realize who and what it was. And I was like, oh God, she's talking about the Brown Widow, the voice, and then also what the hell he was doing.
I love the Spider-Man. It's fucking rad. It's great to see.
And having Nathan Fillion do the voice for that is awesome.
It's so brilliant. Hang on. I gotta keep talking, Dennis.
Oh yeah, no, I've got
something. And I can't
I'm gonna pull my stuff out for the next time around.
There we go.
Mine are in boxes that I need to go and find.
Oh yeah, I got my I found my doctor girlfriend. I got to display all these. Yeah, mine are like I got mine are buried. I don't know where the hell they are. I have all of them now. These are awesome, man. I love these things.
Yeah, they did a great job with those.
A great job, and it's Biff Bang Pow. Looks like Mego, and obviously I'm a Mego fan. So yes,
yeah, and
go
Mary
Beavers.
Go Beavers. Yeah. Go Beavers. Yeah. Mary Ashmead says, me too, and the music playing in the dad's hospital room. Yeah, that music, dude, when Stars and Stripes is playing it, and he gets interrupted. He's like, what the hell is that music? Hank goes and looks over, music helps people when they're unconscious. And that's actually the first thing Dr. Venture said when he wakes up, because I heard the music. It's pretty. It brought me back.
Is that you? I love you.
Yeah.
Kate Jackson.
Carrie Dalton says, not sure if I want to see Doc bankrupt the company by season's end or not. I think it's kind of a given. They're going to go back to venture. Yeah, yes. Venture industry. Yeah. So we have Ventech, which was Jonas Jr.'s company, and then we had Venture Industry, which was Rusty's industry.
All right, yeah. And how many people actually think Jonas is really dead? I mean, he could be.
Oh, no. No, Jonas isn't dead.
Come on, this is the Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Shit. Jonas Sr. came back.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, the posters.
OSI, so.
Yeah. You think we'd have the head?
Yes. For research and stuff. Classified.
Yeah, Carrie Dalton, the posters in the professor's office were pretty damn hilarious, too, in the background. Save the whales, drop the bomb, something like that. I think is what it said. It was like a half and half poster.
Oh, in the class? Yeah.
Yeah. No, in Dr. Von Helping's office.
Yeah, in his office. Okay.
Yeah. He had all these different posters in there. It was pretty funny. Mary Ashby says Brown Widow was cool. That was funny how Monarch starter likes both brothers. Yeah, there's gonna be a problem
something up there. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to towards the end. I think she's there's something going on. So maybe she's working for Daddy.
I think she is too. Yeah. Well, we know that Wide Whale is supposed to be arching him, right? It's supposed to be arching Venture.
Yep.
So why not get the daughter involved, right? Apple Crow says, "Pay it no mind. It was just a science boner."
Science. Yeah, you're right.
It was a science boner. Yep.
Those happen.
It was experimental. He was just practicing. Yeah, so Carrie Dalton says, I was afraid Dean was going to throw up like he's done before when he's been kissed.
Yeah. No, that's major progress. Just having a Woody.
Yeah. Carrie Dalton, I teach U.S. history and I'm also the wrestling coach. Go Beavers.
Go Beavers. Yep.
U.S. military history. That's right. U.S. military. I teach U.S. military history.
Man of Action says, God damn, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. The Venture Brothers is seriously the funniest shit I've ever seen. I've never laughed as hard at anything. And I'm counting fucking Airplane and Blazing Saddles as I've laughed at the fucking Venture Brothers.
Yeah. Osaro says, how old is the Brown Widow? A 30-year undergrad? A 30-year-old undergrad? Probably around there. Yeah. I don't know if he's an undergrad or if he's a grad student. They've never really said what he is. I think they alluded to him being a grad student at one point. So, that's not out of the realm of possibility, being a 30-year-old grad student, 35-year-old grad student. Carrie Dalton says Dr. Z was the one conducting the audit. Dr. Mrs. the Monarch said she couldn't intervene. No, she couldn't. She was just there out of convenience, I believe is what she said. As a courtesy.
Carrie Dalton mentioned something here towards the end of the chat. He says, I saw another video that posited astronaut Manstrong from season 1. He was the paper boy on Gargantuan 1 when the massacre happened, but wasn't in the movie theater.
He wasn't.
It was the guy in the grassy knoll of Gargantuan 1, Carrie Dalton.
Well, he's the one that we met in the very first episode of season 1. He was the one that was working on Gargantua 1.
Yep.
Who had the hots for the woman that we never saw her face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know you have to strain to get back to that one.
Oh man, it hurts the brain sometimes.
Yeah. Apple Crow says, I need to look again, but I think the new henchmen were Manolo's work crew. They probably were.
Yeah, they were. They were. They were.
Actually, because they even said, Gary says something about Manolo. He does say that, yes. So you are correct, sir.
Mr. Monarch.
Mary Ashmead says, yeah, she's just sitting there, laugh out loud. Level 5. He likes a hole into the ship. Huh? Oh, he likes to poke a hole in the ship. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that whole thing too. Go, what about my new cocoon? Surely that's more than a level 5. And Dr. Z goes, oh, this one? Gets a knife. It's just a big balloon. which he spears and takes care of it. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm going through here a little bit. Ed Brewer says it's also rapid fire like back in the day. The references and jokes, good stuff. Yeah, they know how to pack in a good amount of references in there and callbacks. Man, the callbacks to this are brutal. I mean, just having to come back and calling back stuff to season 1. Even in the background.
This is like we write notes for every recap, and this is like doing freaking Mr. Robot. Like you write a book practically. Yeah. You got to watch it twice. Ed Brewer says 6 more episodes and we wait 2 years. Mwah, mwah. Yep, you're right. Yeah. But it's worth the wait. It is always late. Where's the wait? Where's the wait?
Mm-hmm. Carrie Dalton says, I imagine that Doc will be unhappy about that when he wakes up. About the check for $1 million. Yeah. I'm sure that I'm kind of surprised there's $1 million there, because I didn't think they had that kind of operating cash.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna for very long. So,
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, girl gills, weird.
Yes, she showed off her gills. That's right. When Dean was going off on.
Well, they're talking about super science and how they don't understand how what they do hurts their children, and she goes, "Yeah, tell me about it." And she pulls down her little turtleneck, and we see the gills on the side.
I saw somebody mentioning the Russian girl from
Molotov cocktease.
Molotov cocktease. I have a Molotov cocktease figure. I do.
Yeah, I love Molotov cocktease, and I remember when she was really big back in the 1st and 2nd season. We used to see people dressed like her all the time at con.
Oh God, yeah,
dude, that might be no. Say a costume idea.
Don't make any promises. Don't write any checks your ass can't cash, buddy.
It'd be very disturbing looking. That's all.
But all the better. I'm for it. Feisty's in the chat right now. She can make costumes too. Good night, Feisty.
Good night, Feisty. Man of Action says, I'm damn impressed with the new style. The animation is top notch. Yeah. Well, they had 2 years to work on it, so they really took their time with it, which was good. I know they were talking about. I had seen stuff when I used to follow Jackson Public's blog, and they were unhappy with some of the houses that they were using over in Asia, and I think they finally settled on a house they like now.
Yeah, the animation's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're not so busy working on their damn show, I would hope that they maybe take over Marvel or something.
Yeah.
It's like crazy fanboy pie in the sky kind of stuff, but I'd love to see that because, those are fucking great.
Especially since they've done Marvel and DC so much better than Marvel and DC last season.
Ever would. Part of what I talked about my last Monday's live stream was how the Orville and Venture Brothers are superior to what they parody by far now, and have more love for the things they parody.
Yeah. I mean, Think Tank is, obviously a parody of MODOK.
Yep.
And a great parody of MODOK. I mean, making him into a philosophy teacher.
Yes. Who still can't. I mean, like, he's going to go arch, but like, get your homework done,
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. And yes, I agree with you, Edward. They should name the next Bond girl. Jackson Public, Doc Hammer. Yeah. Because Molotov cocktease is just a genius. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. All right, we got to wrap things up, man.
Yeah.
Got a work day tomorrow, and we'll be back in a week covering more Venture Brothers. And again, please comment away like you did last time. And the next recap, we're gonna spend a little extra time getting to the comments as well as the chat, of course.
And hopefully I didn't fuck up too many names and stuff like that for you guys. So
yeah. Oh God. We you get hooked up. For one, Gentleman Caller is a better name. I like that. That would have been better. I know that's not his name, but it would have been better.
Yeah. Like I said, that was something that was in my mind from something else. I realize it's Colonel Gentleman and
Colonel Gentleman. Yes.
It happens. So
it happens. It's no big deal.
Yeah. So all right, cool. Let's let's get you to bed, and so you can get to work tomorrow.
Yes. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Sorrow, man of action. You go ahead and do that, and I'll get the Patreon.
All right. Nigel Brought Savage. Excuse me. Mary Ashmead. Feisty Fan. Carrie Dalton. You already said Asaro. Apple Crow. And we have a couple more people that were in here.
Yeah, it was a light crowd, but I mean, it's late.
Yeah, it's late. So, Marcus Kahn. And who else? I know there was a couple more people in here. Nope, that was it. That's all I can scroll up
to. So
if
you go to nerdrotic.com, all of our live streams, except for Venture Brothers, we try to schedule it as best we can. Usually it's Sunday afternoon, but if they come out with the episode early, we're going to cover it earlier. Our next show that we're going to cover is The Preacher season finale, which is 8:15 p.m. Sunday. Then Better Call Saul on Monday. Then Castle Rock on Tuesday. We're going to be Friday. We're going to be covering Jack Ryan, which is dropping on Amazon. We're going to be covering The Purge, which is coming out a couple weeks on USA. That's good. That's going to be we're going to try it. It might be a roast. Okay. There's also what else?
We should also talk about Disenchanted as well. A little bit. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, but yeah, you can. I did. I've seen the whole season.
And then what else is there? There's a Manifest we're going to try out. And this is, by the way, you're looking at our Patreon. This is the stuff you get if you join our Patreon. You get stuff. Check it out. Patreon.com/nerdrotic. And yeah, Manifest was the one, and also The Good Place.
Yeah.
So we're covering a lot of stuff. Oh, and The Gifted is coming back in a month as well.
Yeah,
so we're covering a lot of TV, but we're still waiting for the big shows to come back, like the Orville, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got some time. So thank you for joining us, Venture Brother fans. It's great seeing you. We'll see you next time. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. And who knows?
Go Team Venture.
Go Team Venture, and we could pop up on a stream tomorrow. You never know. Dennis, take us out.
I was going to answer real quickly. Carrie Dalton, Disenchanted, about 3-4 episodes in. That's when Disenchanted starts getting a little bit better. So that's almost not much better, but it's okay. With that said, children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.